Hi everybody, welcome back to Kitchener to Softball Canada's Championship Week here, put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. I'm Fred Wallace along with Steve Sabarin today. We're in the men's division. This is game number 6 in the men's division. It is the Galway Hitmen, the defending champions, in against the host team, the Kitchener Hallman Cubs. At the plate is Shane Boland as we're just underway. Steve, tell me about this matchup and as you see it.
Well, you know what, Shane Boland, Fred, fantastic ball player, and of course no stranger to this sport, appearing with the national team numerous amount of times. Had the pleasure to catch up with him in Prague a few years ago with Team Canada, and one of the veteran players, of course, on this team as well. Robbie Schweier, long history of, Kyle Fry, long history, and so far challenging Boland on every pitch.
We've got 2 strikes, and again, we're just nicely underway here, Steve. Got a beautiful sunny day here in Kitchener, a massive contrast to yesterday afternoon at this time. So we're looking for a good afternoon of ball here between 2 very good teams. The host team's the Cubs, and the defending champion Galway Hitmen. Strike 3 on Shane Boland. What do you know about our pitcher, Kyle Fry?
Well, Fry, of course, one of the aces with this team, and he's going to be called upon, Fred, to handle a very tough Galway team. A number of hitters here, and that's a big win for him on that first batter to get that first out.
When we were doing the lineup, your remark was, boy, these guys are stacked.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any easier with Jordan Pomeroy now, the left fielder coming up to the plate.
We've got 1 down, and again, just nicely underway. Top of the first inning, the defending champion Galway Hitmen at the plate, and against the host Kitchener Hallman Cubs. The Cubs were supposed to play last night against the Waterdown Hammer, but that game was preempted. And so they're going to play that game on Thursday. Swing and a miss by Pomeroy.
You know what? Great job by Fry to change locations. On the previous pitch, it was high. Then he goes back down low, creates a little bit of doubt in the batter's mind of where that pitch placement's going to be.
Fry takes his set. Off of his glove. Does he have enough time to scamper after it? A shovel pass, and he threw it off the dugout.
You know, that's a tough play, Fred. You know, reaction as a pitcher. If that goes through, it's right at the second baseman and a much easier play. But Galway gets a break there, runner on first base. And now Brad Ezekiel coming up to the plate, the center fielder, another player who has seen time on Canada's national team.
Do we give a hit to Pomeroy?
That's a good question, Fred.
I did.
Okay, I would agree. That's a tough play, especially when the ball trickled in behind Fry. Now he's got to go back and reach it and hurry the throw.
And the fact that he overthrew first was simply a fact that he wasn't throwing naturally. He tried a shovel pass, almost like a Canadian Football League quarterback. So Brad Ezekiel is at the plate, 1 man on, 1 out. On deck, the cleanup hitter, the first baseman Colin Walsh. Just getting started here in Kitchener this afternoon. We are at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And Bernie stole my sponsor page. All right. Well, we do want to thank everybody that's connected to this tournament. There's a ball that gets away from the catcher and will scoop away from Scott Lelis and allow Pomeroy to go into second.
Good heads-up play by the runner. It's not a deep backstop here, but a ball scampered away, enough for Pomeroy to take off. Always have to be engaged on the pitch.
Ezekiel, the center fielder, and now we're going to have a little bit of a conversation, Steve.
Just make sure everything is on the same page. Want to make sure you keep that runner at second base and make sure the signals are true between catcher and pitcher. Beautiful late afternoon for this game here at the Nationals.
Steve, I learned a valuable lesson. Never lend your sheet to anybody. There's a ball to Ezekiel. Runner in scoring position. 1 out, 1 on for the Galway Hitmen, who are the defending champions at this level. And again, this is one of 3 tournaments being put on by Softball Canada.
You know, we're so lucky, Fred, to have this type of structure in our area where you could run 3 separate national tournaments all into one. A really great opportunity for the fans to catch a great ball.
Yeah, tip of the cap to the city of Kitchener for this facility, but also Bud Park, where we're watching the Masters Championship unfolding today. The game that we're watching, the Coburg Force, the defending champions, have a 1-0 lead over the Waterdown Hammer. Both of those teams are 1-0 going to that game, which is at Bud Park. Here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard, we've got all men's action taking place this hour, and then we'll have the conclusion of the under-23 following that. Here's a pop-up, Steve.
That's skied. Good play there by the first baseman to haul it in and get the all-important second out. Now Colin Walsh coming up to the plate. Doesn't get any easier for Fry and company.
Brad Ite making the play at first base, pulling it down. Bit of a bonus that it was a foul ball and a pop out there on Ezekiel. Walsh followed by the designated player, Jason Hill. Softball.ca is the webpage. Game Changer is the app to follow, and we thank everybody for tuning in today on Conestoga College Digital TV. First pitch strike to Colin Walsh. And it's not that I don't like the sun, Steve, but when it goes behind the cloud, it makes for easier broadcasting.
Yeah, we get the beautiful sunset, unfortunately, right into the broadcast booth. So Fry really trying to stay away from the inside part of the plate, not to allow Walsh pull anything here.
First action for both teams. Again, the Cubs were scheduled to play last night, but that game got bumped to Thursday. For the defending champions, this is their first time in this tournament. Here's the pitch from Fry. Called strike.
Looked like Walsh was taking all the way there.
Two strikes on the batter. Fry from the hip to the waist. Grounded, popped over the infield. And Galway is on the board.
Able to get a good bounce, drive it hard on the ground, and it skipped over the third baseman, and that allows Galway to score the opening run. And as an offense, you don't want to leave a runner stranded at second in this game, and Colin Walsh does the job, and now Jason Hill coming up to the plate.
2 down, 1 man on, 1-0 Galway leading here in game number 6 of the Softball Canada Men's Division. Hill and then Ryan Mayer will follow. Steve and I were having a discussion over pronunciations for various players, Brad Ezekiel being one of them. Here's another one. I've seen this name, M-A-H-E-R, as Mayer or Mahar. I guess it all depends on where you're from. Hill, the designated player. His team up by a score of 1-0 in the early going. This one gets away from Leafless, and that would allow Walsh to go to second.
Yeah, that's one I think he wants back. He kind of lifted his head a little bit to make sure the runner wasn't going, and it just got away from him at that point, allowing the runner to advance.
And the irony, Steve, is had they been able to complete the grounder that Pomeroy hit, they would have been out of the inning 1-2-3. Instead, runner in scoring position, up 1-0, and Galway hammers this one, but it's hooking foul.
That lands into the walking path, so another chance for Fry to get an out here.
2 strikes on Jason Hill, left-handed batter. Stands in against Kyle Fry. Fry gets his sign and delivers. Another pass ball.
So that's a tough start when you give up bases, Fred, on pass balls and wild pitches, basically giving a free ticket to the base runners. Now an easier chance to score on a little looper for sure.
And to further your point, Steve, 1 ball has gone out of the infield and a run is in, and a runner in scoring position has moved to third base. Jason Hill is the batter. 2 out, top of the first inning. Called strike 3.
Nice pitch on the outside corner. That's something that Fry needed right there. And the Cubs come out of the inning, but they're going to go up to the plate trailing.
1-0. The Galway Hitmen have the lead. For Kyle Fry, he struck out 2 in that inning, gave up 2 hits, and one of them was one of those ones that you would want to examine and examine again, and we're going to call it a hit. Due up for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, Alex McGilvery, Tyler Brancho, and Ryan Kirk. And one of the interesting things, Steve, is that 2 of those 3 have been already in action over the course of 3 days with their U23 team, being Brancho and McGilvery.
You know what? It's great to see the young players being able to, grow their softball careers. Alex McGilvery, of course, from Durham, Ontario. Not only a softball player, but a hockey player as well. Won a provincial championship with the Hanover Barons in the PGHL last season, along with teammate Danny Scott, who's also on the Hallman Cubs. I don't know if I could do that, Fred. I don't know if I could do, 2 different teams in one tournament. That sounds like a lot of sore muscles the next day.
Probably Alex is at an age where you don't think about that.
No.
If you're my age, couple of games and you're ready to go. Let go in a couple of teams. Looking at Bud Park, Steve, the defending champion Cobourg Force are in the Masters division, and they're playing the Waterdown Hammer in the top of the second inning with 2 out. We're all tied at 1. Cobourg at the plate, but a 1-1 tie against the Waterdown Hammer. Other games taking place at this hour: Bear Creek Express and the Saskatoon Jacks in the men's division, and the Josh Collins Racing Red, who lost their opening game against the Toronto Batmen, are playing the East Hants Mastodons. So it's a busy, busy time here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard.
No lack of opportunity to see some Class A softball here at this national tournament. Alex McGilvery taking a look at the warm-ups, trying to get his timing down, and funny enough, he's number 5. That's the same number that he wears for his hockey career, so you stick to what works.
He's wearing number 5 as well for Rostock in the under-23 tournament as well, so that's why he's easy to identify. If it's number 5, it's either him or Dennis Potvin. So Rob Schweier, he's wearing jersey number 10, and I think that was his hockey jersey as well, if I'm not mistaken. Schweier, the right-hander, been doing this for an awful long time. Drilled into left center. That's going to be at least 2 bases for Alex McGilvery.
First pitch swinging, and he guessed right, Fred. Stayed with that ball and didn't try to do too much with it, just hit it with a lot of force.
And what's interesting is with Rostock, I don't think I've seen him have a hit that hard in the games for Rostock. He's played well defensively for Rostock. Have you seen him belt one? No.
So number 15, Tyler Brancho, up to the plate with a runner in scoring position. The Cubs having a chance here to even things up in the bottom of the first.
Brancho at the plate, Kirk on deck, the designated player. The Hallman Cubs down 1-0. It was interesting when we started today with the configurations of the ballpark. Our first game today, the batter's box was 100% in shade. Now, if anything, it's right in blaring sunshine like the entire field. It's a gorgeous afternoon for fastball here in Kitchener. Schweier the pitch, that's high.
Yeah, and that's going to allow McGilvery no lack of speed from him, and he scampers to third base. Noticing the outfielders were playing, and they're still a little bit in. A
lot of ground to cover between the infield and where the outfielders are situated. Swing and a miss. Tyler Brancho, who I think is stuck with his number, if I'm not mistaken. He's 15 on Rostock as well in the junior. And again, if you're just seeing us for the first time, we've got 3 tournaments on the go here in Kitchener today. Masters and men's taking place at 2 different ballparks right now. And the under 23 is coming your way on our next session of games. Kirk goes down swinging, or pardon me, Brancho goes down swinging.
Yeah, great change of speeds there by Schweier to get Brancho. Needed that strikeout for sure. Now it brings up Ryan Kirk, the DP.
Kirk, then Dan Mitchell, due up for the Kitchener Hallman Cubs, the host team. Game number 6 of Softball Canada's men's division. Called strike.
Goes back to the higher velocity to get that first strike.
Schweier will set, rock, and fire. Took something off that one. Kirk got a piece of it. Setting the infield for Galway. Walsh at first, Kavanaugh at second, Mahar at third, and in between in the shortstop, that's Shane Boland.
Yeah, the shortstop, Shane Boland, again, a member of the national program. His brother, Ryan Boland, also was a part of the national program, was a catcher, and announced his retirement.
Fouled off by Kirk. 2 strikes.
Had the pleasure to meet the Bolands in Czechia for the Worlds, and enjoyed watching them play the game.
Bottom of the first inning, 1-0. The defending champion Galway leading the Hallman Cubs. That's low. Alex McGilvery standing on third. Leadoff double, first pitch double. Went to third on the wild pitch. Tyler Brancho struck out, so we've got 1 down here in the bottom of the first. Tapped at it, and it's foul. Almost one-handed, Steve.
Yeah, good job by Kirk to read again. Another changeup coming in, and he was able to reach for it and make contact, stay alive in this bat with the 3-2 count. Runner at third, so important to get McGilvery in, especially when you're trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first. You want to respond.
Schweier talking with his infield. Probably getting lots of advice how to get rid of Kirk. A pitcher must obviously love it when the infielders tell him how to pitch. Schweier fidgets with his glove, sets. Strike 3, looking. Second strikeout for Schweier, bringing 77 Dan Mitchell to the plate, the third baseman, Steve.
So this is why you're the cleanup hitter. This is your bread and butter with a runner in scoring position.
McGilvery has done his job. What you want from your leadoff guy is to get on. He not only got on, he doubled. Moved to third in scoring position, but back-to-back strikeouts have 2 down here in the bottom of the first. There's a strike. I'm reminded of the great Bob Gibson line when Tim McCarver came out to give him some counseling on pitching. Gibson's line was, the only thing you know about pitching is you can't hit it. Schweier, I'm not sure he said that to his infielders, but Schweier will do the pitching. This one's high. McGilvery darted, but it was caught nicely there. Bit of a high pitch. Patrick O'Leary making the catch behind the plate.
Yeah, those are always tough when you have to pop up like that.
Brian Eit is the first baseman. You're a ball player, Steve, or no?
Used to be.
Okay. Where did you play?
Mostly first base and outfield. Tried to dabble in catching. Just didn't have enough of the get down and dirty to block balls, so to speak. But played in Simcoe and then went to, when I came up and moved to Huron County, spent some time with the Belmore Stingers.
Very good. I'll have to show you my hoodie. Ground ball, Schweier will retrieve it. Looked at home, but goes to first for the putout.
Nice play by Schweier there. Had lots of time and made sure the throw was on target to get out of a jam.
We've played one complete. The defending champion Galway Hitmen have a 1-0 lead over the hosts, the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, going to the second inning. For the Cubs in the first inning, no runs, but they did leave a runner on third base, that being Alex McGilvery, who had the powerful double.
Yeah, great job on McGilvery. Too bad they couldn't push him across, but that's what great pitchers and defenses do, is they stifle an offense, and Rob Schweier really changing up his speeds, keeping the Cubs hitters on their toes, and he was able to bail himself out on that one.
We're going to have a look at some of the other scores taking place at this hour. The Bear Creek Express and Saskatoon Jacks are playing on diamond number 2. They are scoreless at this point in the game. And the other game, the Josh Collins Racing Reds and the East Hants Mastodons, they too are scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. So here on the 3 diamonds at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, we're watching the men's division. They'll be followed by games in the under-23 division, as the under-23 will be wrapping things up. Galway Hitmen with a 1-0 lead over the host team, the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. We're ready to go here. Due up for the Galway Hitmen will be Ryan Mahar, Peter Kavanagh, and Patrick O'Leary. When you were a catcher, did you use the newfangled thing now where everybody's kneeing as opposed to crouching?
If I tried to go on one knee, the coach would bench me. Your mobility is severely hampered to be able to block the ball. But some guys seem to make it work.
It's become the trend in Major League Baseball. I'm not seeing it here at Softball Canada, mostly crouching. Some pretty impressive catchers as well. Been highly impressed with under 23. The Delisle Pride, their catcher, Max Major, has been very impressive. Here's Ryan Mahar, swings through on this one.
The other thing about catching, Fred, is you know, just the knowledge of the game, being able to remember what every batter does, their tendencies, trying to help your pitcher locate the ball. You have to know everything that's going on, store it, and share it with your teammates. So that's why they usually call him the field general.
I like the thing that you're seeing now where they have the graphic of the diamond, and they're really talking about minor baseball, but I think it applies a lot. And the coach's kid is the pitcher, the toughest kid is the catcher, the tallest kid is at first base, the worst kid is in right field, and guess where I played? This is fouled away. 1-0 for the Galway Hitmen, top of the second inning, Mahar, Kavanagh, and O'Leary. We'll tee up the games ahead in the under-23 during our next stoppage, during our next break between half innings. Just nicely getting going here, top of the second.
Fry touching his chest there, saying that was my bad, let the ball get away from him a little bit as it sailed high.
Like many of the pitchers in the tournament that we've seen, Fry is extremely tall. I think probably the smallest pitcher that we've seen might be Colby Faubert for the Delisle pride, and he's a pretty accomplished pitcher. But a lot of the guys are tall and lanky, lots of arm action and lots of leg strength and stride. First base on balls for Kyle Fry, bringing Peter Cavanaugh, the second baseman, to the plate. He'll be followed by Patrick O'Leary.
So playing with a little bit of fire, allowing the leadoff batter to get on base here for Galway. Now the defense is going to have to be sharp as the corners come in to defend against the bunt.
Called strike one.
Some of the defenses I've seen, Fred, where the first baseman will actually play back and the second baseman will stand right beside the pitcher to defend against the short play.
When I first came to Owen Sound, they were the Canadian Tiremen that played it at this level, and they were a very accomplished team. And the second baseman was Adam Smith, and he did exactly what you said. On a bunt, he would be 5 feet from the catcher. This one's fouled out of play.
Now with 2 strikes now on the batter, the defense will step back a little bit.
That one's high. I will say this, Leafless has been very active behind the plate. Scott Lelis is the catcher for the Cubs. This one is ground to the shortstop, picked up nicely and drilled across the diamond. Nice play there by Alex McGilvery.
Yeah, really the only play he had, because he would have had a throw behind him to go to second, and that's always dangerous, and Mahar was there quickly. So McGilvery taking what was given to him to get the first out.
Alex is playing in the under-23 as well in this tournament, playing for the Rostock Junior Batmen. Interestingly, Steve, he's been playing second base for them. He's made a number of defensive plays that have stood out, and that's why I know that he was the second baseman. Here at the men's level, he's playing shortstop.
He has all of the tools, Fred. I don't think there's anything that he can't do at this point. And he also plays with confidence. That plays a huge role in the mental game, right?
Ground ball. This one will go to the first baseman, and it's grabbed by Brian Eit, who will step on the bag for the putout, 2 down. But bit by bit, Ryan Mahar making his way around the diamond. He's now at third base with 2 out.
You know, that's a great piece of hitting. Take the ball the other way, allowing the runner from second to go to third. And now you have an opportunity to drive him in with a hit or even a wild pitch or pass ball.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Andrew Kelly. And again, Kirk has not been touched for many hits. Only 1 has left the infield. This is grounded, and McGilvery's not going to get to that one.
Almost like they drew it up, Fred. Get the runner to third base and drive him in with a hit. And a 2-0 lead now for Galway.
That'll be the 3rd hit in the ball game for the Hitmen, and it turns over the lineup, and we go right back to the top to Shane Boland. Boland led off the game by striking out. First victim for Kirk. Kirk has 2 strikeouts in the ball game. This one is hit to McGilvery. Toss across and gets him with plenty of time. So Alex McGilvery very busy out there. But Galway puts another run on the board. They got just 1 hit, that being the RBI single from Andrew Kelly. 2-0 after 1 inning of play. We want to tee up the games that are coming your way in the next segment of games here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. They will be in the under-23 division. The New Hamburg Mustangs will go against Team Quebec. The Mustangs are 3-2. Quebec is 1-4. If Quebec wins, that will eliminate the Shallow Lake Sting. If New Hamburg wins, then Quebec and Shallow Lake will finish with 1-5 records. And my understanding is in a Softball Canada tournament, you cannot be eliminated by tiebreaker without playing a tiebreaker. You can't be eliminated by head-to-head from a playoff position. So it's conceivable, as I understand it, that Quebec and Shallow Lake could play tomorrow in a tiebreaker game. The other game still to come, a little bit later on tonight, is Tavistock against Murno, Newfoundland. Both of those teams 3-2. And they, along with the New Hamburg Mustangs at 3-2, are all vying for second place in the standings. And the double life that goes with it.
Always makes it exciting when things are close. Gives you something to play for, and as a fan, just creates that extra excitement, not having anybody run away with it clearly.
I've said this before on our broadcast from Conestoga College Digital TV that over the course of time, I think the best national tournament that ever was in Owen Sound was a Bantam tournament. There were 8 teams in it, and 7 of them were all within striking distance, when it came to it. So they had a tiebreaker there in that tournament for 6th. And if I'm not mistaken, the Shallow Lake Sting won that tournament, but had to do so by winning 4 times on the final day. Steve, we go to the bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Galway. Brian Eit, the first baseman, is up for the Cubs. Just a delightful day when the clouds are light, but just obscure the sun just a little bit. Rob Schweier in the pitching circle. Gave up 1 hit against in the first inning. That the double by Alex McGilvery. Eit, Wes Short, and Danny Scott are your 3 batters due up for the host team, the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Schweier will lean back and deliver. Big changeup.
Missed high, missed low, then came back with a speed change and got Eit guessing.
Yeah. Do you ever recognize about halfway to the plate that it's a changeup, or have you already committed as a batter? Schweier digs in with his back foot, and again a bit of a change. Down to third, thrown across the diamond nicely. Mahar fires it across to Walsh for the putout, 1 down.
Little cue ball off of the end of the bat. Third baseman able to scoop it up nicely and calmly make the throw to first.
Bottom of the second inning, Steve, 2-0 Galway leading. Wes Short, the second baseman for the Cubs, coming to the plate. Schweier on the delivery. Strike 1. A leadoff double by Alex McGilvery, and then Schweier has put down the next 4 in a row and gets 1 up on Wes Short. Strike 2.
It always amazes me, Fred, that if you don't get onto a pitcher early and maintain that offense, of how strong pitchers work it deep into games. All of a sudden they get on a roll and they just become unbeatable. So it's important for the Cubs here to try to get something going earlier rather than later.
Yeah, Rob Schweier looked like he wanted that last pitch. Not sure that it was or wasn't a strike. That one is. It's tapped to third base, and for the second time it's whipped across from Mahar across to Walsh, 2 down.
Yeah, last couple of batters reaching for that changeup. So you have to wonder as a batter, do you start thinking changeup first and try to key in on one of those pitches as opposed to trying to hit a rise ball, or
do you sit on it?
Do you sit on
it?
And
wait and maybe know that one is coming? I'm not sure. Or maybe that's what Rob wants you to think. That's not a change. That's got a lot of zip on it. Danny Scott, the left fielder, is up for the Hallman Cubs. If he gets aboard, Liam LaForest will follow. 2-0, the Galway Hitmen leading here in Game 6 of the Softball Canada Men's Championship. Again with a bit of zip and didn't get the call.
Danny Scott, another multi-sport athlete, GOJHL champion with the Listowel Cyclones, played with McGilvery in Hanover last season. On his way to Exeter this year.
Is he school bound?
I believe he's in London, and Exeter's really built a good program. They picked up a couple of players in the offseason. Danny Scott, one of the top defensemen for sure in the league last year, so a big pickup for them.
Schweier delivers. This is popped way up. Ite is going to come over, and it's going to land right into the lap of somebody from Elmira.
Another life for Scott here.
2 down, bottom of the second inning. Galway leading the host Kitchener-Hallman Cubs by a score of 2-0. We'll do a checkup on the other scores that are taking place at this hour around the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And again, if you're in the neighborhood, we invite you to come down here. You will not go hungry, you will not go thirsty, and you will be highly entertained by 2 and 3 levels of fastball over the course of this weekend. Danny Scott at the plate. 2 down, Rob Schweier the pitcher. This is popped up and might be playable. Ite is over, and he's got it. Pardon me, not Ite. That's Walsh, the first baseman. I just made a trade there, Steve. Colin Walsh is the first baseman.
Good job by Walsh to read the fence, especially with the gate being right there. Always tough to judge a ball and make sure you don't ram into the wall. So Schweier gets out, 3 up, 3 down, and the Hallman Cubs still trail.
2-0 is our score for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. They have no runs. They do have the 1 hit, the leadoff double by Alex McGilvery. Cubs will play again tonight at 8:15 approximately, when they will go against another Ontario entry, the Mixburg Twins. The next action for the Galway Hitmen is coming up tonight at approximately 8:30. They'll go against the Saskatoon Jacks. The Jacks are playing as we speak. They're in against the Bear Creek Express, who those in the know in softball tell me are the favorite in this. But we've played 2 innings in that game, and there is no score. And the other game taking place at this time has the Josh Collins Racing Reds, who are 0-1, in against the East Hants Mastodons, who are 1-0. That one, after 3 innings, is scoreless as well.
Before we get going here, Fred, I like to say it's really a pleasure to be able to call a ball game with you. I think this is the first time we've hooked up in the broadcast booth together, despite what we both do with hockey and some other sports. So
yeah, I've heard you many times with your broadcast on CKNX. So pleasure for me too, Steve, to finally get to do a game with you. There's a certain appeal, and again, I'm from Midland, Ontario, so Junior C has always been near and dear to me. Line drive. Nicely snared there by the third baseman, Dan Mitchell. That brings Ezekiel to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He fouled out. I'm not sure, Steve, if the ball found Mitchell or Mitchell found the ball.
Well, sometimes it's just you close your eyes and it ends up in your glove, so to speak. But if that ball gets through, that is an easy double for the leadoff hitter. So good job to snare that.
Ezekiel takes strike 1. We'll have a gander at what's happening at Bud Park. Also do an update of the under 23 standings and the ramifications that are in front of us here. Playoff day tomorrow for under 23, swing and a miss. What's your schedule for the remainder of the week with Softball Canada and softball.ca?
I get to be here tonight for 2 more games, and then same for Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the evenings.
Okay.
So looking forward to some good competition, especially as we get closer to the weekend, and playoff placements are key.
That ball is high. And are you working, or is this a working holiday?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Brad Ezekiel at the plate, 1 down, top of the 3rd inning. His team has a 2-0 lead here over the host Hallman Cubs. Belted, and that will bounce to the fence, which will be good for extra bases for Ezekiel. Two-0 lead, runner at second, 1 out. And as you pointed out, Steve, had Mitchell not made that play, that could be a 3-0 game. Here's Colin Walsh, the first baseman, who I inadvertently traded at one point in the last inning, but he's back with the Galway Hitmen. Bit of a discussion before he steps into the batter's box. 2-0 Galway with a runner in scoring position.
This is a key part of the game here, Fred, with only one out and a runner at second, an opportunity for Galway to possibly break it wide open. So Fry's going to have to be careful. Defense is going to have to be solid and try to keep Ezekiel at second base and get 2 more out.
Walsh fouls off the first one. Gets set in the box. Kirk, deliberate, fires it. This is fouled off. So he's touching him, just not hitting him. The Hitmen won this tournament last year, and based on your reaction when we looked at the lineup today, I would suggest that they are contenders yet again.
Absolutely.
Kirk gets the sign, puts to the hip, fires, and this is belted.
And that's going to be called a home run. Windows got in the way here, Fred, but it looked like the left fielder crashed through the fence, but the ball was long gone by then, and that's a huge hit for Walsh and company.
So we now have a 4-0 game, Steve, and again, if I was an architect or a designer, I give full credit, as you did, to this venue. It's a great venue for what we're doing. If we're going to make one tiny alteration, we're going to put where our broadcasting location is, we're going to move it 45 degrees, put it behind home plate, because once the ball goes into left field, I can see left center, no question, but I have the light standard and then all of the windows, and it's not like we've got one picture window here. We've got a series of those new fancy crank windows. Anyway, be that as it may, 2-run homer for Colin Walsh, and it's a 4-0 game here in the top of the third. Fouled away.
Yeah, so there's that breakout hit for Galway. That puts a lot of pressure on the Cubs now, even though it's just the top of the third inning. But again, you know how strong good pitchers can become later in the game and lock things down. So the Cubs have to get out of here with no more damage to allow their hitters to try to bring them back into the game.
That one's called low. And it is a tough start for the host team. They were to play last night. Again, they were preempted by the backlog on the scheduling. But having said that, from a tournament organizational standpoint, you always want to have a strong host team. And I think they do at the under-23 with Tavistock, albeit the biggest cheers go for Delisle, Saskatchewan. I think they've got the biggest cheering section here. Drilled up the middle. Wow, did he punch that. So Jason Hill is aboard, and Galway suddenly has gone from 3 hits to 6 hits, and Jordan Pomeroy might have been robbed of extra bases when he was at the plate. Here's Ryan Mahar to the plate, walked in the second inning and came around to score on the RBI single by Andrew Kelly. 1 down, top of the third, 4-0, runner at first. And this is drilled into right field. The right fielder blocked it, held it maybe just a little bit long, but gets it back into the infield. Peter Cavanaugh to the plate now. He grounded out to Alex McGilvery in the last inning. 1 down, 2 on, 2 in. 4-0 is our score.
Now 5 hard hit balls here in this top of the inning.
Fouled away for strike 1. Is it a case of seeing a pitcher a second time?
Absolutely. It's amazing how hitters can adjust so quickly and key in on some routines.
In tight, the pitch from Kyle Fry. 1-1 is the count. This one gets away, and another run will score, as trotting across is Jason Hill. Moving to second base, Ryan Mahar, and we've got a 5-run game.
Cubs will be thinking about possibly making a pitching change soon with just one away here and already 3 runs across the plate. But in tournament situations, you got to know your schedule, got to know who you have coming up, and that one's pounded.
And that will go for extra bases and score another run as Kavanaugh drills a double and drives in a run. Anything hit to left field, and I'm almost in your lap. So Galway has put up 4 and have a runner in scoring position with just 1 out. Patrick O'Leary is the batter, grounded out to the first baseman, Brian Eit, his first time up. 6-0 ball game here in the third.
I know we don't have an exit velocity measuring stick here, Fred, but it's not that these balls have just squeaked through. They've been hit hard. And it doesn't look like Galway's holding back on their swings at all.
No, they have that reputation, do they not?
Well, you're not going to move the ball very far if you're not swinging hard. And with the lead, they can just keep going.
Defending champions scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and they put up 4 here in the top of the third. This is game number 6 of Softball Canada's championship. It's being presented by Kitchener Fastball Promotions, who I'm assuming would be pretty happy with the day today, weather-wise. Hard hit ball to the second baseman. He'll get it across to Eit, and so the 4-3 play from short across to Eit gets our second out, but it allows Kavanaugh to move to third base.
You come up with that ball clean, possibly a chance to look the runner back to second or maybe get them in a rundown. But because of the bobble, you can only go to first for the second out.
Andrew Kelly is the batter. Singled his first time up, bounces back to Kirk, and somewhat frustrated, he throws him out at first. 8 batters come to the plate. Galway Hitmen put up 4 runs. They had 5 hits, and as you mentioned, Steve, all of them were pretty significant hits.
So it's going to be up to the Cubs now to get their offense going here. It'll be interesting to see how they respond as they're just getting down to the 8 and 9 hitters here, Fred, at the bottom of the order. So Schweier looking to take control here, and it was interesting to see him use that changeup in the last 2 innings, and whether or not teammates on the Cubs bench have exchanged that information to see what the 8 and 9 hitters will come up and see what their mentality is when they step into the box.
And we'll see if Kitchener's second time around are as effective as Galway's were. Over at Bud Park, today here are some finals from the Masters Division. The Grand Prairie Pirates defeated the Treaty 4 Snappers of Saskatchewan 4-3. The Saskatoon Brewers won their game coming from behind to beat the Shakespeare Falcons 8-7, so the Falcons fall to 0-2. The Treaty 4 Snappers did get a win. They beat the Huron County Angels 8-6, and so Huron County falls to 0-2. And as we speak, the defending champions, the Cobourg Force, are in against the Waterdown Hammer, and the Hammer are leading that one 3-2. Do you know much about the Huron County Angels? And I only asked you that because that's kind of your bread and butter territory.
You know what? I do not. I will be honest. But I do know a couple of guys who play on that team. Long-time fastball players, used to play with the Wingham Hitmen when the team was in town there. But they knew going in it could be tough sledding. Pitching is always key, Fred. And when you have some A-list pitchers coming in that you're going to face, it can make things difficult. But 8-6, that's a close mark.
Yeah, their first game wasn't fun, I can imagine. They lost 16-3 to the Cobourg Force. So it's one of those things when you do get into an age bracket like Masters, what are your priorities for your team players? And as Trevor Bodine was telling me earlier in the day for his team here in Kitchener, some nights it's a struggle to get 9 guys on the field.
That's because we're all taped up and can't move.
I just find the older I get, Steve, the harder and harder it is to get groups together. And my groups are only 5 or 6 guys to play poker, let alone a sport where you might want to travel and be away for the weekend. Liam LaForest is the batter for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. They're down 6-0, bottom of the 3rd inning here. First time we're seeing Liam at the plate. He'll be followed by the catcher, Scott Lelis. And then we'll turn the order over to the only person who's got a hit for the Hallman squad. That's Alex McGilvery. And that's belted into right field, but the right fielder for the Galway Hitmen makes a nice catch there. That's Andrew Kelly out in right field. Well hit ball.
Yeah, struck well, just hung up enough for the right fielder to come in and make that all-important first out. If you're the Cubs, though, you really want to try to get a base runner on here, especially you're coming up to the top of the order.
And build some momentum. Maybe you didn't expect to beat the Galway Hitmen. There's a good possibility that this game might be a mercy game. This one's fouled away, but you want to feel positive when you go against the Mixburg Twins in your second game, in particular when you're playing in sort of the showcase game here on an evening basis as the host team. I'm laughing, Steve. The first Softball Canada tournament that I was ever at was in Owen Sound. I believe it was 2002. Get to it in a second. And it was the women's championship. And the deal was if Owen Sound did well with hosting a women's event, they could have a men's event probably the next year, I believe, in 2003. Anyway, Owen Sound really didn't have a women's elite team. They had the Leon's team in the Grey Bruce Ladies Fastball League. And they tried like crazy, and they drew good crowds, but they went 0-7 in the tournament. And it was frustrating because 3 of the losses were blowouts. The other 4 they could have or should have won. Strikeout there for Lelis. For Rob Schweier, just his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. He's let his defense handle things for him. Hey, how you doing? Okay, thank you. The card was wrong. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, so we got a correction. It's been Jason Hill pitching all the time for the Galway Hitmen. He was listed as the designated player, and Rob Schweier, tell me that I'm crazy, was listed as the pitcher.
According to your photo, Fred, that
Okay.
was the original card.
Somebody's lying in this deal, and it's not me, and I don't think it's him either. So thank you for that update. For those watching, obviously, on our live stream from Conestoga College Digital TV. If that was hockey, they would have got a 2-minute penalty for the wrong lineup.
Yes. And a possible appeal to replay the game.
The difference in the sports. And again, I apologize. I wish I was more knowledgeable about this sport. Seen it enough that I should know more.
Well, one of the things that what the viewers and listeners don't realize is how fast the setup goes. The game's got to go quickly. And so in between, there's only a limited time. There's a process where, you get the scorecards. We don't have runners going back and forth from the booth to the score table to get all the changes right away. So.
And also, Steve, I think there's some rationale for why they would do it that way. And there's a base hit. And so McGilvery gets his 2nd hit. McGilvery with a double in the 1st, single in the 3rd. He's on with 2 men out. So now you've got me checking my precious phone just to make sure that it's right. So I'm punching my phone up here now. And this is the Galway Hitmen. It says Rob Schweier 34-1. Now I should have clued in when I saw 10 out there rather than 34. But it does say position 1, pitcher. And as that gentleman just told me, he ain't pitching. It's Hill. But there are other disasters to deal with, Steve. Another good note, once again, the Bank of Nova Scotia is up, so that ball gets away, and McGilvery will scamper into second. Since I'm trying to appease myself, I'm going to check the stock market, and there's lots of green on my phone, so that's good too. This is game number 6 of Softball Canada's Men's Championship. The Galway Hitmen are leading the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs by a score of 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 out, and Alex McGilvery on second for the Cubs. Cubs looking for their first run of the ball game, and up is Tyler Branshaw.
So if you're the Galway Hitmen right now, you want to keep the door closed and not let the Cubs build any sort of momentum.
We went through this in the junior. Mercy is 7 as this one gets away, and it's called strike. So McGilvery has moved to third. 7 runs after 5 innings is a mercy. And Jamie Simpson also sent me the other permutations there. 10 runs after 4 and 15 after 3, so that's not going to happen. And that's the inning, or I thought it was the inning. Branshaw walked away like he struck out.
3-2 count on the batter.
Jason Hill. Took us 3 innings to get that straight, so thanks to everybody for cluing us in. This is belted to left field. And we've got ourselves a 6-2 ball game. Two-run homer for Tyler Branshaw, and it's now 6-2.
So you go from thinking you struck out to punching the ball deep to left field for the solo shot. And a big 2 runs here for the Cubs in the 3rd.
And it all starts with 2 out. LaForest flied out to right field. A nice play in right field by Andrew Kelly. Leela struck out. McGilvery singled and then scores on the 2-run homer by Branshaw. Hill will deliver again. This is pounded through the shortstop, and so suddenly we got a rally for the Cubs.
There's that momentum building, and they're into the heart of the order right now.
And further to what we talked about earlier, Steve, is it coincidence that batters 1, 2, and 3, with their second time to the plate, are managing to get hits?
So here's a discussion in the pitching circle, and
kind of looks like Hill isn't interested in the discussion.
No. Just a little bit of a reset, saying, hey guys, let's keep our focus and get out of here.
Hill had retired 8 of the first 9, 2 out in the 3rd inning, before the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs put together a rally with single, 2-run homer, and now another single. Can they keep the momentum going with Dan Mitchell? Mitchell swings and fouls it off. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 6-2 ball game. Galway leads, strike 2. Mitchell, the 3rd baseman for Kitchener, trying to keep a rally going. Did the talk on the mound settle downhill?
Hill there, you saw him look down to the ground. There's the nice little pit developing where that landing foot is coming, and he just clipped his toe, and the ball got away from him a little bit there. So
You almost need a groundskeeper every half inning. And this is popped into left field, so the rally continues. Here's an opportunity for Kirk. He's going to stop at third on the double by Dan Mitchell.
And again, you saw Hill's foot just twist a little bit when he landed, and it's all in that hole in front of the plate inside the circle.
Ryan Mahar, the third baseman for Galway, needs to be on his toes because two of the next batters both grounded out to him. So runners in scoring position, down by 4, but runner at second, Mitchell, runner at third, Ryan Kirk. At the plate, this is Brian Eit. Eit takes strike 1. 4 consecutive hits for the Hallman Cubs. Single, 2-run homer, single, double.
How big would it be for the Cubs to get these 2 runners in from scoring position?
When it looked depressing when they came to the plate, seemingly were out of it, hammered hard. Walsh will step on the bag for the putout. So Kitchener puts up 2 runs. The Hallman Cubs ended up with 4 hits in that inning. They've got 5 off of the pitcher that we're discovering is Jason Hill. And we'll go to the top of the 4th inning with Galway leading by a score of 6-2, Steve. Here are some scores today from the men's division. East Hants Mastodons out of Nova Scotia start 1-0 by beating the Waterdown Hammer 4-1. The Toronto Batmen actually overcame a 2-1 deficit to beat the Josh Collins Racing Reds 5-2. The BC Souk Loggers, they were winners by mercy over the Mixburg Twins 7-0. Taking a look at other games that are taking place at this hour, Bear Creek Express in against the Saskatoon Jacks, and Bear Creek has a 3-0 lead in that game. And the other game has the Josh Collins Racing Reds against the East Hants Mastodons. That game has progressed to the bottom of the 5th inning very quickly, and Josh Collins Racing Reds leading their Eastern Canadian rivals, the Mastodons, 1-0.
So Kyle Fry, comes out to pitch again, and this will be interesting, Fred. If this is his game all the way, giving up the 4 runs last inning, and now starting off with the top of the order here in Shane Bolin.
You can hear the chants of "Come on, Boley." Popped way up. McGilvery back, and he's got it. Jordan Pomeroy comes to the plate now for Galway. He's 1 for 2, singled and scored a run in the 1st inning, and then had a tremendous liner that was caught by Kitchener-Hallman Cubs third baseman Dan Mitchell, almost because Mitchell happened to be in the right place at exactly the right time. Swing and a miss. Well, the Hallman Cubs could very well be reinvigorated. Know that they put together 4 straight hits, scored twice, got Boland out. They're at the top of the order, as you mentioned, Steve. Pomeroy at the plate, followed by Ezekiel. Fry fires that one by his catcher, Lelas. Ezekiel is up next. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game with a run scored. Top of the 4th inning, 6-2, Galway Hitmen leading the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. This one's way up, Steve. If you reach out, I think you got it.
Didn't bring my ball glove this time around.
Do you still play?
No, left it a few years ago, and just a little bit of community slow pitch here and there, just to get out.
This one is popped way up, and will there be enough room? Not quite.
I don't know about you, Fred, but I was always the talker. I was never the top guy on the batting list.
That aside, I'm assuming that your work commitments mean that even slow pitch on a weeknight is a tough way to go.
Sometimes they can go late.
Yes. This one is bounced to third, and it gets through the third baseman for the Cubs. And he's going to jog into second. I'm going to give him a hit on that because I'm a generous guy. And he went to second because the ball slid through the third baseman, Dan Mitchell.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat with the backspin and no bounce whatsoever and squeezed through. And in this game, if you don't come up with it clean, runners are going to run. And Pomeroy, with his speed, easily gets to second base.
2 hits for Jordan Pomeroy. Could have had a third had he hit it a foot one way or the other, but he drilled it right at the third baseman. Here's Brad Ezekiel, 1 for 2, double, scored a run on the 2-run homer by Colin Walsh. Meat of the order for the Galway Hitmen. They have a 4-run lead here in the 4th inning.
And you want to try to get this out for sure with Walsh on deck, and he sent the ball for a vacation at his last at bat, so key at bat here.
Ezekiel 1 for 2 in the ball game. Kirk gets the sign, top of the 4th inning. Kitchener-Hallman Cubs down 6-2. This is struck sky high. Left fielder camping under it. And making the catch out in left field, Danny Scott. 2 down.
Yeah, that's a big out for Fry and company. Now has a little more leeway with Walsh, especially with the first base open.
Do you, with that first base open, do you pitch him so carefully so as to walk him to get to Jason Hill, who's 1 for 2 in the ball game, as opposed to Walsh, who's 2 for 2 and maybe 3 for 3? Nope. This one's going to land center field, caught there by Tyler Brancho, and that's going to do it. So a clean inning in terms of runs scored. No runs. They did get the 1 hit, the single that went through the third baseman by Jordan Pomeroy. So for Galway, they have a 6-2 lead, 6 runs on 9 hits as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Kitchener-Hallman Cubs coming to the plate, Steve.
So the Cubs have some work to do, but building some confidence last inning for sure. Key is to get that leadoff batter onto the base paths and give themselves something to work with.
Here's a rundown of scores from the under-23 division. And again, there are 3 divisions taking place. The under-23 division was the one that started Monday and is concluding today, and then we'll move to a playoff round tomorrow, championship game on Friday. Murno of Newfoundland, the Mariners beat the Delisle Pride 4-3 with some heroics in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tavistock Merchants, who are the host team, moved to 2-2 by blanking the Shallow Lake Sting 5-0. The Rostock Junior Batmen really had to struggle to come from behind and beat Equipe Quebec 3-2. The Delisle Pride outslugged the Shallow Lake Sting 10-8. That was a miserable start for Shallow Lake, but they made it close, coming back to tie it at 8. The Murno Mariners won their second of the day, upsetting the Rostock Junior Batmen 9-7. Rostock, in spite of the loss, will finish at 5-1 in first place. Tavistock Merchants won their second of the day as they beat the New Hamburg Mustangs 10-5, and Tavistock will play one more time against Murno coming up tonight. One other game still ahead. New Hamburg has a game against Quebec, and that will wrap up the round robin. Where are we, Steve? Bottom of the 4th inning.
Wes Short up to the plate. The second baseman, 0 for 1 on the day. Ground out to the third base side, back in the 2nd inning. Short, Scott, and LaForest. First 3 hitters here in the bottom of the 4th.
The Hallman Cubs coming off a very good inning. This is the bottom of their order, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, and 4 all got hits. Hill with the pitch. That's fouled off. For Jason Hill, the starter for Galway Hitmen, he's given up 5 hits, but 4 of them came in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 out. A sign that he's tiring, a sign that maybe the teams are getting on to him.
Well, the hitting, as you go deeper into the game, you're reading the pitcher, as that was stroked hard, but Hill able to make the catch. More in self-defense than anything at that point.
Line drive right back to the circle. He snares it. I think it had enough velocity to get through the middle of the infield, and so that's a good out for the Galway Hitmen. Danny Scott comes to the plate. He popped up to the first baseman in his first time at the plate.
Yeah, engagement right now is key for Galway to keep focused on the game. Do what you did back in the earlier innings to keep the Cubs at bay, because as soon as you start letting up at this level, that allows a team to get back into the mix.
Jason Hill in the circle for the Galway Hitmen, facing Danny Scott. There's a called strike.
Scott thinking that was a little too high.
Called strike.
It's almost like the hitters from the Cubs, some of them are just waving at the pitch at this point.
That's fouled off.
Like to see a good twist here by Scott and really drive this ball.
It would be exciting for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs if the bottom of the order put men on base, with the guys at the top of the order all knowing that they found Green in one way or another. And in the case of Brancho, he found Green well outside of the ballpark. Fouled off.
A little bit of a wake-up call off the leg. Come on, Danny, you've blocked shots. That should be able to take that, no problem.
It's probably the ones that you don't expect that hurt the most, right?
Yeah.
If he goes to block a shot, that's part of the defensive code in hockey. But
and you have shin pads.
Now, which leg did it hit him on? Because
Yeah,
he's
that's true.
exercising both. Danny Scott, left fielder for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Fouls another one off.
Yeah, good at bat here to foul off some good pitches and stay alive in the plate appearance.
On deck is Liam LaForest. He's 0 for 1, but had a good opportunity. It was a nice play out in right field that denied him of a hit. Hill delivers. This one goes up the middle for a base hit.
Yeah, great effort by Scott there after waving through a couple of high ones earlier in the at-bat, able to stay alive, just fouling pitches off, and earns himself a hard-fought single.
Liam LaForest comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He led off the last inning by flying out to the right fielder for the Galway Hitmen. Catch made out there by Andrew Kelly. Can LaForest get some bat on this ball? He does, and he skips it just foul down the first base line.
If you're on that right side of the field, Fred, defensively, you have to watch that line because LaForest looks like he's trying to go that way. So if you're the right fielder, you've given him a lot of space.
So his stance is somewhat open, right? And he fouls this one off very quickly, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning of game number 6 of Softball Canada men's tournament. 1 down, 1 on. The Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, who are the host team, are trailing 6-2. but trying to get something mustered here in the fourth. And as I said a couple of times on this broadcast over the course of the few days here, Steve, it's also kind of neat in these tournaments to see another team making their way just beyond the confines of the fence, where one game is halfway through and the next couple of teams are getting set to go. I think it's always cool when you see a team sitting together in the bleachers or, in this case, walking in.
If you see them running, that means they're late.
Ball called.
Just missed on that one, and I think that's a pitch Hill wanted right there. LaForest was frozen.
LaForest displaying a good eye. Not everybody on the diamond agrees with him. 2-2 is the count. LaForest, then Lelis. 8-9 hitters in the lineup for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Swing and a miss. Not a lot of strikeouts for Hill in the ball game, but that gives him 4. He struck out the second and third men that he faced, Brancho and Kirk, struck out Lelis, and struck out Liam LaForest there for his 4th strikeout. This brings Lelis to the plate once again, and the catcher will try and keep this inning going for the Cubs.
Yeah, good job by Hill to change speeds on that strikeout of LaForest. We'll see what the assignments are here as Hill delivers the first pitch to Lelis.
And it's belted, and I don't know that anyone's going to get there. Drops into center field, relayed back in, and they're going to try and score here to the plate. Got him! What a relay.
So 2 things happened on that play, Fred. Number 1, the outfielder hit the cutoff man. So important on that play. Number 2, the throw came to the backside of the catcher. He was up the line a little bit, but instead of catching it and try to swing around to his left to hit him, he just turned into the runner and got the runner on the leg before he made contact with the plate. A little bit of a discussion here with the coach and the plate and the umpires, but that's going to be an out and end the threat.
Brad Ezekiel plays it in center field, and it was into the gap. There was no question. It wasn't right at Ezekiel. He had to run and get it. Scooped it up on a bounce, whipped it, hit the relay man, Peter Cavanaugh, who in turn fired the strike to Patrick O'Leary, and that cuts down what would have been the 3rd run of the ball game for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. The Cubs get 2 hits in the inning, but the rapid fast relay cuts them down at the plate, and they don't get any runs. So after 4 complete as we go to the 5th, the Galway Hitmen holding a 6-2 lead here, and due up is Jason Hill. Just going to drift over to Bud Park for a second here. In the Masters division, the game that is underway, the defending champion Coburg Force are getting whacked by the Waterdown Hammer 7-2. So the Hammer, who won their first game in extra innings over the Shakespeare Falcons, have the lead of 7-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. They are at bat, are Waterdown, with 1 man out. So the defending champions are taking it on the chin here. Following this game, we will have more action on the diamond, including on Diamond 3, or scheduled to be on Diamond 3, the New Hamburg Mustangs against Quebec in the under-23 division. During our next break in the action, we'll give you the quick under-23 standings, where 7 teams have been competing. We're down to our final 2 games, and I can tell you this, the Rostock Junior Batmen will finish first. The other 6 positions, kind of up in the air right now. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th very much in play, and the battle for 6th is down to Quebec and Shallow Lake. If Quebec wins their game, then they will win or get possession of sixth place. Hill bounces it back to the pitcher Kirk. He goes 1-3, and we get the put out there, and that brings Maher to the plate.
So a walk and a hit for the third baseman of the Galway Hitmen today. He's been able to key in on Fry. Let's see what he can do with this opportunity. Still not over by a long shot.
Our next game here on Peter Hallman Diamond 1 will also be in the men's division. The Toronto Batmen, who are 1-0, will go against the Waterdown Hammer. Waterdown 0-1 after losing to East Hants Mastodons 4-1 this morning.
I'm looking forward to that game, Fred. Of course, the Toronto Batmen with one Ty Sebastian from Brussels, Ontario.
Yeah, didn't see Ty today, but that might be just a case of saving your best. Launched into center field, and a nice play out there on the catch by Tyler Brancho. Two away, and that brings Peter Cavanaugh to the plate. Cavanaugh is 1 for 2. He had an RBI double in the third and went out McGilvery to first on a well-hit ball in the second inning. 6-2, Galway leading it. 2 down, top of the fifth inning. Cavanaugh looks at ball one.
The Cubs can get out of this inning clean, Fred. Top of the order for the Cubs coming up in the bottom half. So to get out of here with no runs allowed would be big.
And the top half of that order for the Cubs was pretty productive their last time to the plate. 6-2 is our score here. 2 down, top of the fifth inning. Cavanaugh at the plate. Patrick O'Leary on deck. And to come to the plate should Cavanaugh advance, extend this inning. At one point, both you and I were surmising that there might be a pitching change after the double that made it 6-0. Since that point, Kyle Fry has retired 7 of the last 8 that he's faced.
You know, and that shows perseverance. Coaching staff with confidence in him. He comes back after a tough inning and throws up the stop sign here over the last few batters. So kudos to Fry for zoning in and giving his team a chance here in the latter stages of this game.
Kirk will set and fire. Swing, fouled off. A game that was looking like a blowout now has taken an interesting turn here if, as you say, the Cubs can get through this half inning. Here is Kirk. Pounds one. And it is foul.
Just foul down that line. The third baseman in a hopeless stance, Fred, as that ball was chopped over his head, and all he could do was hope that it went to the foul side of the chalk line. Good positioning by the umpire to straddle the line and look right down it. Chalk helps as well.
We're at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard, a great facility. We're at the main diamond, and there is a walk to Cavanaugh. Just doing a quick check. There haven't been a lot of walks from Kirk. That's just the second one. Ryan Maher, he walked earlier in the ball game. It's a beautiful facility, and I will say this about the infield. It's got to be it's not rock hard, and it's definitely not soft. But if you pound the ball into the ground and it hits in the right spot, the hop you get will get you from the infield into the outfield.
And Galway bringing in a pinch hitter here in this situation, as number 7 Marshall will step into the plate and bat for the catcher O'Leary.
Doug Marshall is our batter. O'Leary was 0 for 2 in the ball game. We will see at the end of the inning if Patrick O'Leary goes back in to catch. Runner at first, 2 down, top of the 5th inning, 6-2 Galway Hitmen in the lead. I would say a comfortable lead, but maybe not so comfortable because I see some activity down in the Galway bullpen. Who's hurling down there? I see a single.
Number 6.
Number 6. That would be Shane Boland. Throw down to second on the steal, and it goes into center field. So Shane Boland is getting some tosses in. Will we see Shane Boland?
Top of the order coming up for the Cubs. Might be an opportunity to switch things up.
6-2, runner at third, 2 out, top of the 5th. Pounded into the ground, and again, to my point, from the plate, pounded about halfway up the third baseline. The bounce nearly took it over the fence. Kirk looking to bear down against pinch hitter Doug Marshall. Swing and a miss. There's your third strikeout, or there's your third out. For Kirk, a long time in between strikeouts. That might be just his third of the ball game.
Yeah, and a big time to come up with one with a runner on third after the throw down to second got through. And with 2 away, a runner just a few feet away from home plate, and Fry comes up with a big strikeout. Now it's up to the hitters to come around for the Cubs here. Will we see a pitching change? And number 34, Rob Schweier, is in the pitcher's circle. So,
I told you people that Rob Schweier was pitching today. Interesting for Kyle Fry, he struck out 2 of his 3 outs in the first inning and then had not struck out anybody until he got Doug Marshall here in the 5th. So a new pitcher, Rob Schweier, comes in. And I'll have to remember for the rest of the tournament, if I do a Galway game, that he's number 34. As promised, here are the standings in the under-23 division. What we know for sure is that the Rostock Junior Batmen finished at 5-1, and they will be in first place no matter what. The Tavistock Merchants, the Murno Mariners, and the New Hamburg Mustangs are all 3-2 with 1 game to play. Murno is head-to-head against Tavistock. Murno is head-to-head against New Hamburg. I apologize for that. So again, a 3-way tie for second place right now. Tavistock, Murno, and New Hamburg. Delisle is finished the round robin at 3-3. So they could finish anywhere from 4th or 5th. Quebec at 1-4 with 1 game to play. And Shallow Lake finished at 1-5. Shallow Lake will be eliminated if Quebec defeats New Hamburg tonight. Back to our game, and here's Alex McGilvery, Steve.
2 for 2 on the day. Good work by McGilvery. Has been able to hit the ball hard, but now he has a different pitcher to deal with and has to reset everything that he's gathered over the last couple innings.
Schweier fires that. McGilvery has also been impressive in the field at shortstop. He's also playing in the under-23 division. In fact, I think if the Hallman Cubs, and there is a single that's going to knock it in. I was going to say there could be a conflict at some point, either tomorrow or Friday, as to where these guys play. So a man on. Here's Tyler Brancho, who homered in his last appearance at the plate, facing Rob Schweier.
Good job by McGilvery in that leadoff position to just take what was given to him. Had enough strength to muscle that inside pitch out of the infield and get himself on base as a leadoff.
6-2 is our score. Bottom of the 5th inning. We'll call that one wild. And in fact, as we speculated in the top of the inning, Patrick O'Leary is back catching. He re-enters. So McGilvery moves to second. Brancho at the plate. Ryan Kirk is in the hole, or pardon me, Ryan Kirk is on deck. That one had some juice on it.
That had a little bit of mustard, for sure.
Two Schweiers in our tournaments. Rob pitching here, Dale pitching for Rostock. So back-to-back zippers, and I think Brancho knows I'm not even close on these. Can he time them and belt another homer to pull them within two? Did he go? The umpire between first and second says no. What did you think?
I don't think, from my angle, it didn't look like he went through, but it's nice that there is the 4 umpires out here, Fred, at this level. It gives everybody a proper perspective. Another changeup gets away. McGilvery, nice little scamper to third on that one.
With nobody out, Steve, the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs are trying to cut the margin in half here. Brancho trying to hang in there. Took some balls early. Watched a couple go by that at rapid speed. 2 strikes on him.
Got to go back to the fastball right here. And that's what it was.
Rob Schweier with his first strikeout of the ball game. Second batter he's facing. Designated player Ryan Kirk is up now. He has a runner at third in Alex McGilvery, who's got one of the 2 runs in the ball game today. In fact, McGilvery has been on all 3 times. Double, single, single. Double to lead off the bottom of the first. Single in the 3rd inning, came around to score on the home run by Brancho. And then a single here to lead off in the 5th inning. Went to second on a wild pitch, to third on a passed ball. And of course, McGilvery has to be alert in the event that another ball gets by O'Leary. And there it is.
That's a good hold by McGilvery. You're down by 4. You don't want that run to not get in. If you're down by 1, maybe you take the chance on it, but definitely not at this point.
And further to that point, Steve, the Cubs had one cut down at the plate in the last inning. So how big may that end up being? And there's a walk. First walk, so Schweier's given up his first hit. He's got his first strikeout, issued his first walk. Here comes Dan Mitchell with a double in the ball game, 1 for 2. Grounded out to Hill to end the first inning, doubled in the 3rd inning. One away, bottom of the 5th inning, 6-2, Galway leads. This one gets away, and that will allow somebody to go to second.
Nice block by O'Leary, though, on that one. He was able to stretch and get a piece of it. If he doesn't touch that ball, Fred, McGilvery's in scoring on that play.
So Ryan Kirk scampers to second. McGilvery is at third. There's one man out, and your cleanup hitter is at the plate in a game that you trail by 4. I don't think the Cubs could ask for a great deal more than this. Schweier, when he's thrown the fastball, has been 1, deadly accurate, and 2, virtually unhittable.
Umpire directing the Cubs bench. Maybe
something he heard?
Or it's something, I think it was more just something sitting outside of the dugout.
In the game last night for Delisle and New Hamburg, the umpire very calmly walked over to the Delisle dugout and said, "Tone it down." It was a game I wasn't doing. I was just standing along the fence and walked over as if nothing was going on and told them to tone it down. Change up and a dandy.
Great change of speed, but not only that, the location to the outside part of the plate, and had Mitchell completely fooled on that one.
Mitchell trying to, with a base hit, pull his team within 2 probably. That's low.
Three and 2 count. Great patience by Mitchell on that 2-2 pitch.
Fouls it off, so he's proving to be a very difficult out here.
Stay alive, get a piece of it, go on to the next pitch. But I think Schweier at this point has to be thinking heater all the way.
When his heater has found the target, he's been very effective. Brancho on 2 of the 3 strikes that he took was nowhere near it. And Brancho's proved to be a very good hitter with a 2-run homer in this game.
Went for the changeup. That was dangerous. They got to play. No, McGilvery will get in there. And the runner from second, Kirk, moves up to third on the walk. And, you know, looking at pitch selection, Fred, and that's going to be it for Schweier, as they're going to bring in somebody else. We'll see who comes in. It looks...
Will it be Boland?
It looks like number 6. We'll get a check on there.
6 is not Shane Boland. He's 91. He's playing shoes. So let's just take a look.
Walsh, number 6. Yeah, that'll be Colin Walsh coming into pitch.
So he's going to move over from first base.
So I was going to say, Fred, on that last pitch, the off speeds are great, but if it gets away from you, it can create problems, and we saw that right there, just to the outside part of the plate. O'Leary couldn't handle it cleanly, and that allowed McGilvery to score, and Kirk advanced to third. So we have a ball game.
6-3 is the score. 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. McGilvery singled, went to second on the wild pitch, third on a pass ball, and scored on a wild pitch. Ryan Kirk is at third, and Dan Mitchell is at first, and Brian Eit coming to the plate.
Walsh, the lefty. So a little bit of a different perspective for the batters, as Eit will come up and take a look.
So at one point in this ball game, Steve, it looked as if the Cubs were going to be blown away. This might not be the case. Well, let's see what Colin Walsh can do here.
So with Walsh pitching, it's Hill on first base for the Hitmen.
Brian Eit to the plate, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Swing and a miss. Eit grounded out to third base on a good play by Mahar. That was back in the second inning. Grounded out to the first baseman in the third inning. Third time to the plate. And that's wild. So we've got now runners in scoring position, a 6-3 game, 1 out, a base hit by Brian Eit and or Wes Short, and we've got a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, it just didn't scamper far enough for Kirk to come in from third base, but Mitchell able to get up to second. And, of course, O'Leary checking in with Walsh to make sure they're on the same page for everything. Because as a catcher, you don't want to be going down to block a ball and it sails over your head by 6 feet.
And once again, how big was that plate from Ezekiel to Kavanaugh to O'Leary to strike down Danny Scott at the plate? Another strike. Pivotal point of the ball game, bottom of the 5th inning. Eit at the plate with 2 men in scoring position for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs.
See if Walsh climbs the ladder a little higher here.
Blew it by him. So there's his first strikeout. Wes Short now with the duty of doing something for the Cubs. Looks as if we've got a pinch hitter coming up as well for Danny Scott.
Short 0 for 2 here in this ball game. Back in the second, grounded out to the third base side and then chopped one back to the pitcher. Actually, it was a line shot that was snagged by Hill.
Aiden Yard has come up potentially to pinch hit for Danny Scott. We'll see what Wes Short can do. The last game on this diamond was a U23 game, Rostock. Yard put one out of the yard. Yeah, right over here. Yeah, thank you.
Here's a delivery by Walsh. Good pitch. Cut that outside part of the plate. And now Short's going to have to dig deep here. Want to get at least one of these runners in to tighten the gap.
Well, we better wear that one out tonight.
Just took a momentary leave of absence there. We got the lineups for the next game, Steve.
Things keep on rolling quickly. You know, another key to this situation, Fred, if the Cubs can, keep the batting lineup moving, is you're going to flip the order again for the 6th or 7th and get to the top part of the list for the Cubs.
They've got 7 outs to work with. This might be the most pivotal with Short at the plate. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts by the new pitcher, Colin Walsh, and that ends any threat in the 5th inning. The Cubs do get a run. They had just 1 hit, 2 walks. So after 5 complete innings, the Galway Hitmen are leading by a score of 6-2. Galway with 9 hits in the ball game. The Cubs, they've put together 8. Want to remind everybody that tomorrow is playoff day in the under-23 division. We know that Rostock will play at 11 a.m. against whoever finishes in second place, and there are 3 teams that have a shot: Murno, Tavistock, and New Hamburg. So they'll be playing one of them. Rostock, we know, plays at 11. There will be a game at noon between the 4th place team and the 5th place team. Right now, that 5th place team would be Delisle, but again, some things could change between now and tomorrow morning. And then the other game at 1:15 tomorrow is 3rd against 6th. 6th right now is Quebec, and will be Quebec if they win against New Hamburg in their final game.
Interesting situation here with Fry coming out to pitch the top of the 6th. it's Kelly to lead things off, the number 9 hitter for Galway, and then it flips to the top of the order. So, again, is it a situation where the Cubs are saying to Fry, this is your game all the way through, based on what they have for a pitching staff and what their strength of schedule is? Or is it a you face this batter and we just ride you until you get into trouble?
We do have a final from Bud Park. The Waterdown Hammer have defeated the Coburg Force by a score of 7-3. So with that victory, the Hammer moved to 2-0. Coburg falls to 1-1. Ground ball to the shortstop. McGilvery gets him by a lot. Good hands and certainly good pop behind the throw. Next up in the Masters division, and again this is taking place at Bud Park, the Shakespeare Falcons to go against the Alberta Grand Prairie Pirates. Shakespeare 0-2, and Alberta is 1-0 after they won earlier today 4-3 over the Treaty 4 Snappers. One down, top of the 6th inning, Shane Boland to the plate. Boland may be uncharacteristic, Steve, 0 for 3 in the ballgame.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic.
Ground ball off of the third baseman. Does McGilvery have enough pop? And he does. 5-6-3 off the glove of Dan Mitchell into the waiting arms of Alex McGilvery across the diamond to Brian Knight.
Not only across the diamond, Fred, but the way the ball deflected, McGilvery had to reach back behind him to his left, meaning he was throwing off the heels as opposed to stepping into his throw, and he still got enough on it.
So very quickly, 2 out for the Cubs. They're down 6-3 in the ball game. We're in the top of the 6th inning with 2 out. Here is dangerous Jordan Pomeroy. 2 for 3 on the game. And maybe the ball he hit the hardest went for an out. Yeah. Hey, what'd you do with my sponsors? We're getting by, Steve and I.
Pomeroy continues his tear with a single right up the middle.
There we go. You got it like that. Oh, ribs coming in from Montana's. How good is my life? Thank you, Montana's. There's a strike. Ezekiel is 1 for 3 in the ballgame. He fouled out to the first baseman in the first inning, doubled and scored on the home run by Colin Walsh in the third, and flied out to center field. Hammers this one foul. That one might end up in Cambridge. We're here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Again, the Kitchener Fastball Promotions have done a terrific job and got excellent cooperation from the weather today. Just a great day for a ball tournament. Runner going, and it will be uncontested as the ball was dropped. Runner at second. Galway looking to take a 4-0 lead. At one point, Galway was up 6-0. The Hallman Cubs have clawed their way back to make it a 6-3 ball game. Ground ball, McGilvery's got it. Is he automatic? Makes the throw. And what a half inning defensively for Alex McGilvery.
Well, it was 6-3 times 3 it was actually a 5-6-3 on that second one, Fred, technically. But, yeah, McGilvery doing the job at shortstop, and it was interesting watching him defensively that inning. Once had a cohort of mine say, you've got to be quick, but don't hurry. You don't want to rush it, but you got to be quick. And McGilvery was quick on all 3 putouts, and again keeps his team in it. And now we'll get an opportunity here in the bottom of the inning to help his team possibly as they go to the sticks.
So after 5.5, the Galway Hitmen are leading by a score of 6-3. Galway got all their runs in the first 3 innings. They've been blanked in the last 3. In the ball game, they have 10 hits. Coming to the plate are the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, down 6-3, but they've been able to put up 8 hits. It'll be Danny Scott, conceivably, and I'm going to change that right now because here comes Aiden Yard. Scheduled up was Danny Scott. Aiden Yard is going to go into the batter's box. Behind him, Liam Forrest has a bat, and Scott Lelis also scheduled. I'm assuming these taste great only because they smell great.
They smell wonderful, and I kind of broke the broadcasting code and snuck a fry, so start smacking my lips in a moment.
I worked with a guy one time who would go to hockey games and would have such a good time eating the junk that he couldn't go to work the next day. If there was an Owen Sound Grays game, the guy wasn't showing up the next day because he was loaded up on popcorn and chips and all the beverages. I miss the simpler times of the 80s, Steve. Aiden Yard to bat here in place of Danny Scott. Yard, like McGilvery and Brancho, is a member of the Rostock Junior Batmen. So he's seeing double duty in this tournament. And as crazy as this may sound for a first-place team with the Junior Batmen, I think McGilvery, both defensively and offensively, Brancho with the home run, have been more impressive at this level than they even are at the under-23 level. It's strange to say, but that's the way it's appeared today.
Oh, that one got away from Walsh.
Walsh, the third pitcher in the game for the Galway Hitmen. They started with Jason Hill. Hill went 4 complete innings. Rob Schweier pitched to 4 batters. Yard fouls this one off. And now Colin Walsh is facing his third batter. He got back-to-back strikeouts after relieving Rob Schweier. 6-3 is our score. Bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out, nobody on. Takes a ball there.
Now Walsh trying to move things around the plate. Yard not biting. Have the 2-2 count.
Swing and a miss, and the third strikeout for pitcher Colin Walsh. That brings Liam LaForest to the plate. The Waterdown Hammer are off to a very good start in the Masters division. They've won their first 2 games, and they'll play the Huron County Angels tonight, scheduled for 8:30 at Bud Park. The only other team that conceivably can move to 2-0, 2 other teams, the Alberta Pirates and the Saskatoon Brewers. Alberta is playing Shakespeare, and Saskatoon will meet Cobourg later tonight. This is game number 6 of Softball Canada's Men's Championship, put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotions. We're here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard just early in the evening at 6 p.m. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ground ball will go to the shortstop, and Boland rips it across. Which shortstop has the better arm?
You're putting me in a tough spot.
I know which shortstop has the younger arm.
Are you?
I know which shortstop has the most experience in the sport. Scott Lelis is due up. The catcher, 2 men out, bottom of the 6th inning. Take strike one. Two down, nobody out, or pardon me, two down, nobody on. Swing and a miss by Lelis. Lelis 1 for 2 in the game. Jason Hill struck him out in the third inning, but he singled off Hill in the fourth. That single, though, went for naught as Danny Scott was cut down at the plate on that great relay, Ezekiel to Kavanaugh to O'Leary.
Galway was ready to run off the field on that pitch. It looked borderline. Lelis will get another hack here, though.
Leaning in is Walsh. Swing and a miss. His fourth strikeout over 2 innings. No runs, no hits. After 6 complete, it's 6-3 for the Galway Hitmen. Due up for the Hitmen, Colin Walsh, the pitcher, Jason Hill, the starting pitcher, now first baseman, and Ryan Marr, the third baseman.
So for the Cubs, you're disappointed that you couldn't get any momentum going there in your home half of the 6th. The good news is you have your leadoff hitter starting things off for you in the 7th. So you want to come out of here clean in the top of the inning to give your offense a chance to work your way back. And it's not out of a realm of possibility, Fred, to score 3 runs in an inning. They've scored a couple so in an inning pass. So opportunity for the Cubs here to get things defensively sound and then come back and try to even things up.
And to your point, batters 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the Cubs lineup all put together hits in sequence. You do that again, and sometimes 4 hits can give you 4 runs. Want to check some scores on the other games. The Bear Creek Express are playing the Saskatoon Jacks. That game is in the bottom of the 7th, and Bear Creek is leading by a score of 4-0. And again, people in the know tell me that Bear Creek might be the team to beat. If they are, I'm looking at a pretty good team that they would have to beat, that being the Galway Hitmen. The other game taking place at this hour has the Josh Collins Racing Reds in against the East Hants Mastodons. That game is in the bottom of the 8th. If I'm reading that right. Yeah, bottom of the 8th inning. And Nova Scotia East Hants Mastodons, it says leads at 3-2, but I think that's a final. If it is in fact the bottom of the 8th, then it's 3-2 with the home team leading. We'll wait and see if we get the update from Game Changer. If East Hants did win that game, then they would move to 2-0 in the tournament and have a very productive first day in the men's division.
Looks like we have some defensive changes for the Cubs. Number 24 comes into second base. LaForest moves from right field to left field, and it looks like Yard, who came in to hit for Scott, goes into the right field. So the Cubs settling things down in their defensive stance after the offensive changes.
Top of the 7th inning, 6-3, the Galway Hitmen leading. Called strike on Colin Walsh. Walsh in the ball game is 2 for 3. Single and an RBI in the first inning. 2-run homer in the third inning. Flied out to center field, Brancho, and his last at bat. And Brancho might get another chance here. He's under it. That's sky high, and there's one away. Brings Jason Hill to the plate. The starting pitcher, as we were informed, is 1 for 3. In the third inning, he singled after the home run, went to third on the base hit by Marr, and came in on the double by Kavanaugh. 1 down, 6-3. Galway at the plate holding the lead over the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Ground ball goes to second base. West Short slips it across. 2 away.
You know, it's interesting looking at the score sheet, the first 3 innings for Fry, and then since the 4th, complete shutdown of the Hitman here, and he's doing again in the top of the 7th with 2 quick outs.
From the batter Patrick O'Leary in the third inning. Kirk has given up 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 hits, and 1 walk since. Funny game sometimes, Steve. It looked like he couldn't get anybody out in the third inning, and now nobody can get a hit off him. Now, his defense has been pretty terrific behind him as well.
Absolutely.
In fairness, or in credit to both ends, both to Kirk as the pitcher, or pardon me, to Kyle Fry as the pitcher. Ryan Mahar at the plate, 2 down, nobody on, top of the 7th inning. Galway at the plate, holding a 6-3 lead. Ground ball, and no defense is going to get that. Tell me this doesn't happen to you when you're doing a broadcast of any description, when you praise somebody for what they're doing, and then the exact opposite will happen.
Absolutely. It's Murphy's Law. Happens all the time.
In Owen Sound, they used to have a promotion, the Kelsey's Player of the Game, and you would announce it with 10 minutes left to go. And you almost hated to give it to the goalie, no matter how well he had played, because the last 10 minutes turned out to be a horror show.
Absolutely.
The broadcaster jinx. There was another famous one I had. It must have been the Attack. We're at Guelph. And they had a 4-0 lead with 8 seconds to go. And I said, well, the goalie's going to get a shutout. I forget even who the goalie was. And sure enough, Guelph would score to ruin the shutout. And the next day, people were all over me. Ground ball to third base. Fired across the diamond, and that will be it. Just to finish my story, Steve, the next night at the arena, the Attack, Friday night at Guelph, Saturday night at home to somebody, the entire fan population was all over me. And after about the 10th time that somebody told me I shouldn't have said shutout, I said, I didn't lose the face-off. I didn't miss the coverage. Let's get off my back here. No runs, 1 more hit for Galway. They put up 6 runs over 7 innings. For Galway, they had 11 hits in the ball game off of Kyle Fry. The biggest, probably the 2-run homer by Colin Walsh. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and as you mentioned, Steve, it's the top of the order.
Yeah, what a game McGilvery's had for himself, Fred. 3 hits on the day, a couple of runs scored. A leadoff guy for sure to try to get things going and give his team a starting point at least.
My sponsorship has returned, but not by the person that took it.
Just in time.
He sent somebody else to do his bidding. Do you believe that, Farron? McGilvery, Brancho, and Kirk. 1, 2, 3 in the order. McGilvery is 3 for 3. Brancho 1 for 3 with a home run. Kirk 1 for 2 plus a walk. So can the Hallman Cubs pull an upset here on day number 1 in game number 1?
Again, 3 runs not out of the realm of possibility, especially when you look at the score line over the last couple innings for the Cubs and their top 3 batters.
Alex McGilvery doubled in the first, singled in the third, singled in the 5th. He's facing his 3rd pitcher on the game, doubled and singled off of Hill, singled off of Schweier, and now he gets a look at Colin Walsh.
And he's in a hole right off the start, 0-2.
So that game is final now. East Hants Mastodons winning in extra innings over the Josh Collins Racing Reds. Tough day for the Racing Reds. They lose to the Batman 5-2 in a game that they had the lead 2-1 at one point, and they lose this one in extra innings. East Hants with that victory moves to 2-0. Eight-inning victory for the Mastodons. Here at our diamond, Alex McGilvery trying to get something going, needing a 3-run rally to force extra innings. And he's gone.
First time he's been put down here today on the strikeout.
Since he came in to face Brian Eit in the 5th inning, all Colin Walsh has done is strike out 5 batters. Only 1 batter has put his bat on the ball. that being LaForest, who grounded out to Boland. Tyler Brancho to the plate. Called strike one. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning of game number 6 in the men's division at Softball Canada Championships. The Kitchener Fastball Promotions, thank you for being on hand in the park, especially supporting the local organizing committee. Kitchener has a big event coming up next year as well, and Bernie hasn't talked a great deal about it, but I know they're quite excited a year from now to host the ISCs. And this facility, I think, is as good as any in North America to do so. Changeup. Missed with it. One down, nobody on. The Cubs desperately trying to scratch together something to get back into this game. Down by 3. Of little consolation, they have outscored their opposition 3-0 since falling behind. Twins will play a game, or the Cubs will play a game tonight against the Twins, the Mixburg Twins tonight. That game scheduled for 8:15. Drilled into center field, and it will get by the center fielder, Ezekiel. So he'll stop it too, and what a throw to third base.
Brancho had the Jets on. He was turning around second, fully looking at third base, and a good job of the coach to read the play and give his runner the stop sign, because it was a direct throw from deep center field, bang to the bag.
There's the first hit off of Colin Walsh, and it went between the center fielder and the right fielder. No way was Ezekiel going to get to that ball. But I will say this, Ezekiel's arm from deep left center was fabulous.
Actually, I bought more than 5 because of your tournament. Are you gonna?
This brings Ryan Kirk to the plate. 1 for 2, struck out in the first, singled in the third, walked in the 5th. Number 3 hitter. Fouled away.
And this is where your heart of the order has to wake up. An opportunity, a runner at second, to try to draw closer to the Hitmen.
The top 4 in the lineup have either hit or been on base 9 times in the game. If you could reverse sequences, it would have been great to go single, double, single, home run, but instead it was single home run for the 2 runs in that 3rd inning. Ryan Kirk facing Colin Walsh. Walsh delivers. This is fouled out of play. Swing and a miss by Kirk. 2 down. 6 strikeouts for Colin Walsh. Which brings the cleanup hitter Dan Mitchell to the plate. Mitchell with a double and a walk in the game, and grounded out to the pitcher to first. Hill getting it across to the first baseman for the putout in the 1st inning. Ended the 1st inning. Will it be the end of the 7th inning? 6-3, runner at second, Steve, with 2 out.
Yeah, right now you're not concerned about that runner at second. You have a 3-run lead. Your focus is on the batter wholeheartedly to get that 3rd out.
Nice cushion to have. 2 out, 3-run lead. Yes, you've got a runner at second. I don't think that you want to let up, but if you bear down, you put together a good 1-0 start. And Galway's been impressive in the ball game, no question. We tip our caps to the Cubs, who are the underdogs. who didn't surrender and fall off the mercy trail. They stretched this one out the full 7. Strike 1 on Dan Mitchell. Strike 2, so we're down to our last strike here, Steve. Do you waste a pitch if you're calling Walsh, or do you go right for the jugular?
I think you go high, try to get him chasing. Eye level pitch.
This is the 9th batter that Walsh has faced. He struck out 6 to this point. He's got 2 strikes. If that was a waste pitch, it was pretty close.
It was pretty close. Again, I think, and to go with the velocity, don't try anything fancy. You've got him on his heels, the hitter on his heels. You just stick with the high-speed attack.
And good for Mitchell. And I don't even know if that would have been a chase. That's just a very good eye. Delivered. Swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts for Colin Walsh. That ends the game. The Galway Hitmen win it by a score of 6-3 in game number 6 of the Softball Canada Men's Tournament put on by the Kitchener Fastball Promotions here at Peter Hallman Ball-Yard. Steve Sabourin, last thoughts on this particular game?
Yeah, both teams taking away something. The Hitmen saying, hey, we have to stay engaged for the entire time. We don't want teams to sneak up on us. The Cubs showed some fight, but just couldn't tag Walsh coming in to close things up. And kudos to Fry. Had that rough third inning, Fred, 4 runs, but came back and basically shut down the hitters for the rest of the way to allow his team to try to get back into the game.
So with the victory, the Galway Hitmen start 1-0. They're scheduled to play at 8:30 tonight against the Saskatoon Jacks. Meanwhile, the Kitchener Hallman Cubs, the host team, scheduled to play tonight at 8:15. Up next for you and I, Steve, is coming up the Toronto Batmen against the Waterdown Hammer. That game, once they've resurfaced the diamond, will be all set to go. On behalf of CCDTV, that's Conestoga College Digital TV, and the Kitchener Fastball Promotion, thank you for joining us on Softball Canada for today's broadcast. We'll be back with more later in the day.